Predator or Jason are going to be joining the Fog. I can almost guarantee it, and here is why. Before we jump on into that, we are giving away some alien codes on our stream right now, twitch.tv/TheKing. We'll be live every single weekday, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 4. Hopefully we see you there. 2 codes going out today, 2 more codes going out on the next stream, so make sure you guys are tuning in. Let's jump on into this. With the Alien chapter coming out, it just makes sense that Predator is going to be joining the Fog. I'm going to start with a little bit more far-fetched theory and then go on to the concrete evidence. For starters, as a Fog Whisperer, I mentioned that I received some codes to give away to you guys. Normally, with all licensed chapters included, we get about 20 codes to give away to the community. This time, we only received 4. Pretty crazy. And I don't think this is on Behavior's part, considering that in other licensed chapter deals, we've received a ton of codes to give away to you guys. That makes me think that it's more than likely on the license holder's part. And why would they be so strict about this? It could be a couple of reasons. Number one, it might be because they want to accurately determine how much sales are going out. That way they can determine if it's worth it to do a Predator chapter sometime in the future. Or the more likely answer is that this was a package deal for Behavior to acquire the rights to use Alien and Predator in their game, and things just need to be a little bit more strict. So they just want to be strict for the sake of being strict. Now, we know that Alien and Predator are held by the same owners, and they own the copyrights for both of these characters, so it just makes sense if this was a package deal and they decided to be a little bit more tight on those restraints. But nonetheless, that's one of the more far-fetched sides of this argument. The next part about this that's still a little far-fetched but can add to the theory is that Behavior seems to follow a theme when it comes down to their chapters. Take a look at previous chapters that we received. You can almost put a blanket around everything on the kind of theme that they're going for. For example, with the Skull Merchant, we received a very futuristic type of killer. Right after that, we received the Singularity, which is in the same boat of a futuristic type of killer, being an AI itself. And then after that, we received Alien. If they continue on this trend, it's more than likely that we're going to be seeing Predator join the Fog. For whatever reason, Behavior has done this so many times where they kind of stick to this theme, and that seems to be the overarching thing that happens every single time. So more than likely, that will help the Predator argument. Let's not forget about when everyone thought the Skull Merchant was supposed to be Predator. And I mean, as far-fetched as that may be, it could actively be a good ongoing theory. What if Predator was supposed to be the first part of this dual chapter with Alien, and for whatever reason, it just had to be scrapped? And because of time restraints, the devs just had to reallocate its power and create the Skull Merchant. That definitely could have been a case, and they just quickly polished as much as they can. Again, another wild part of this theory, but it does make some sense, and now we can potentially see Predator coming into the game now that we know 100% that Alien is there. So it's not too crazy when you really go back and look at all of the details. And finally, the biggest part of this argument that I think really puts a nail in the coffin for a lot of people is the Grid Alien skin that we received in the store. The skin itself just speaks volumes, because if you recall, the reason why this Grid became is because it was a scar from fighting. And guess who the alien was fighting? It was Predators. So it just makes a lot of sense that, especially since that skin is in the game, and I believe those are from different movies/franchises, it makes a lot of sense that Predator eventually will be joining the Fog, and this is a big hint that this is going to happen. So for Predator, why would this be a paragraph? As we know, the next chapter coming into Dead by Daylight is a paragraph and not a full-blown chapter with a new map and new survivor. Well, the easy answer is we kind of received everything with Alien. You know, we received Ellen Ripley, we received a new map, so they don't necessarily need to sugarcoat everything. On top of that, the characters that they would have to pick from the series itself would probably cost a lot if you know who they are, so chances are they're like, screw it, this is already such a huge bill on our parts. Let's just take one piece of your puzzle and then we'll move forward and hopefully get some sales from cosmetics, etc. to make up for it. Let's flip it. Let's talk about Jason now. Why do I think Jason Voorhees is going to be joining the Fog? I'm sure you're thinking, isn't there a big lawsuit going on? Like, how would that even happen? Well, I thought so too, but it seems that over a year now, this lawsuit has been done and everything has been settled in court. We initially got the reaction of Matthew Cote when this was kind of simmering down and the court date was done and the trial was over. And in the words of Matthew Cote, he said that the very complex case just got a little less complex. Jason and Friday the 13th stuff has been popping up everywhere. The collaborations have been crazy. I recently was scrolling through Twitter and I saw a collaboration with G Fuel. So they have Friday the 13th x G Fuel. After that, I was like, whoa, I didn't even know that this was back in the market. Let me go ahead and take a look if there's anything else brewing. And sure enough, there's quite a few things. For example, there is a new Crystal Lake show that is coming out. That is absolutely huge. I mean, they're making brand new content on Friday the 13th itself, which means that Dead by Daylight has a wide open door to doing the same exact thing. I know what you might be thinking. That's a TV show. You know, it's not really in the video game industry. It might get more complicated. After all, that's where all of this licensing disputes came from. Well, get a load of this one. According to Fangoria, there is a new Friday the 13th game coming out. And they are getting this information from Harry Manfredini, who is the composer for the Jason Friday the 13th series since the original in 1980. According to him, he says that there's a video game in the works as he's working on some new audio for the game itself. That is crazy to think about. According to this article as well, this video game is supposedly supposed to be a different style from the previous asymmetrical title that was developed by Gun. Obviously, Gun went on to make Texas Chainsaw Massacre, so we know they're on to different things. So it's going to be a different studio. It's going to be a different type of game. According to them as well, it's going to be more realistic looking than Friday the 13th, the game. That is huge news coming out. So I believe that it's just a matter of time until we receive Jason. Now, why would it be a paragraph? You know, as we know, the next chapter is going to be a paragraph. Why exactly would Jason be a paragraph? Well, considering how complex this case really is, it could be one of those cases like Ghostface, where we're just going to be getting the rights for maybe the mask, or maybe we're only going to be getting the rights for a specific part of this license agreement rather than everything coming in a bulk, because as we know, there was huge disputes over who owns the copyright, etc. So chances are, whoever Dead by Daylight decides to work with might only have the rights to one piece of the puzzle and not the entire picture, and just for legal sake, they decided just to stick with one thing. Nonetheless, whatever chapter comes out, I think it's going to be absolutely huge for Dead by Daylight, and I definitely think it's going to be one of these two choices. Dead by Daylight has already had an astonishing year, showing Nicolas Cage coming into the game, and then right after that, we're getting Alien into the game, and now we're getting another big license coming out, according to the devs, saying it's absolutely huge. So in my mind, chances are we're going to be seeing one of these two characters coming into the Fog. It's not too far-fetched either, considering that they've given us some huge DLCs in the mid-year, such as Stranger Things, and considering how well the year has been going for them, I wouldn't put it past them where they were like, all right, you know what, let's just make this one of our best years ever with collaborations, and these two big chapters are right around the corner. I digress. I think that these two chapters is just a matter of time for both of them to come into the Fog now and finally have their home and place set in the Hall of Fame of Killers, and I'm excited to see how they're going to take in their power and how the perks are going to play into all of this and the gameplay aspect of it. I'm super duper excited. Nonetheless, I think these two characters are going to make their way into the Fog, and one of them is going to be coming very, very soon. I hope you guys enjoyed this theory and me just kind of rambling a little bit about what I think is going to be joining the Fog. And I would love to hear what you guys think to either support or debunk these theories in the comments down below. Don't forget, we're going to be giving away some alien codes on stream, so hopefully we see you guys there. We're going to be giving away 2 codes today and then 2 codes in a future stream, twitch.tv/theking. Listen, guys, I'm going to be streaming a ton more. We have an Into the Fog broadcast that's happening this week as well, so hopefully we'll see you guys there. That's going to do it for me. As always, I've been the King. I tip my crown to you guys, and we'll see you in the Fog.